Okay, welcome into the Pop Drama Course workshop where we are teaching teachers how to teach drama with drama teacher Jeff. Hello. Welcome in. I'm really excited for you who are joining this. Obviously, you have some knowledge of education, but you really want to hone in some of those skills to be able to teach your audience or your students a little bit more about presentation skills in a fun, exciting, dramatic way. So we're going to have a really good time here. We're going to talk a lot more of these types of skills. And what I would suggest for you is go ahead and get yourself a journal or find something that's valuable where you can jot down some notes and be able to continue on. So I'm really excited. I'm a little bit nervous, but it's going to be great. There's going to be a lot of powerful presentation information valuable for you here. So yeah, let's get into this pop drama course. Today we're going to talk about the workshop plan. We're going to teach a lesson using the circle for game structure. Many of the drama classes that you will be performing or presenting or teaching in should have some sort of game aspect. The circle is a great way to set rules, establish some boundaries, and then be able to see and assess your students. We're also going to have some feedback from some coaching and teachers. We'll watch some videos and even some teachers that are just like you who may have some questions as well. And if you'd like to continue on in the course, we do have some materials that you can submit if you'd like to go ahead and get involved into this basic drama course. Fill out the worksheet, hit us back, and we can continue with helping you how to teach and educate your students in drama. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about today's agenda. I'd love to tell you a little bit about myself, my story. I will use the hero's journey method to go through that so that you understand a little bit more about myself. We've got some awesome ideas that can change your life as a teacher, just to be able to understand differently from your point of view. And from others, and of course some mind-blowing insights that with drama games and just being able to use those drama games to be able to interact with others. And then of course, if you'd like to have some more information, we've got some advanced course information for those action takers who really want to go ahead and find out more about how they can use this type of dramatic improvement for their students, their audience members alike later on in the workshop. So I'm excited to go ahead and get started here, and go ahead, let's dive right in. So become is a really important type of concept within the dramatic course structure. So let's just talk about becoming an MVP teacher. Here's a little bit about myself. Mission, vision, and passion. My mission is to provide insightful solutions that will inspire presentation improvements, essentially using your hidden talents and really just going out there and facing your fears. How I see this happening is my vision, by promising that this pop drama process will provide presentational performances. It's really what it is, essentially an easy guide to be able to continue your practice in that space. And then a passion is to focus on the audience, and the students will too. Focus not on yourself, but changing the dynamics that are always changing so that you're able to get a clear picture of what it is to present for the audience and those expectations. So who is this for? This is for teachers who want to teach drama. Clear and simple. And it doesn't have to be an entire drama course. It's just drama within the lessons, because they know that drama provides extra creativity for learning. What are we going to solve here? We're going to solve here that there may be an understanding of improper listening skills. Maybe we're not establishing a teamwork aspect in the classroom. Maybe we don't have enough performances so that these drama skills can really be utilized at some stage in their life. So we're going to talk about those, and I promise to present to you an immersive experience, including some sort of TED Talk, interactive learning, and audience participation, so that I'd entertain you with edutainment along the way. My proof is that I've had a decade of professional freelance drama teaching experiences, won multiple awards. My students have won multiple awards. I have really enjoyed teaching interview skills, presentation skills on multiple levels, not just in schools, but also in larger companies and competitions. All right, let's get into this. So we do have 3 brackets within this workshop today. We're going to talk a little bit about the mental expectation that you should have, how to teach that mental expectation. We'll talk about the games. We'll get some specifics about the games, and then we'll talk about the plenary in bracket C, which is basically learning how to consolidate all of this knowledge into a practical learning experience, and so that you know what to expect from the students. You know, I believe that if you're not preparing for your presentation, for your big moments, it's just going to pass you by, and then you'll end up considering some sort of regret. And I don't believe in regret. I believe in learning from your mistakes. I believe in acknowledging your mistakes, and then, of course, impressing yourself with that change. And I'm going to present this workshop to you as best I can so that you understand exactly what it is to do. So here we go. We've got a few different ways to go about doing this, and your bracket A is basically your teacher introduction. Knowing who you are as a teacher, knowing what it is your mission and vision and your passion are, is really going to set up some sort of understanding for your students. They can go ahead and say at the very end that they're going to tell you that, wow, this information that you provided me is something more valuable, and that what it is that I can do is here to be helpful for you as a student and as a teacher and an educator, so that you're able to do what it is that you can get done for your presentation. So part 1, bracket A, we're talking specifically about what it is to be a good drama teacher. I'll give you a couple of things you can go ahead and jot down. Now's a good time for that. A drama teacher should be creative, patient, analytical, confident, animated, kind, approachable, and even imaginative. And if you don't have all of those qualities, I do think that even just a few of those should be able to incite the creativity of the students just the same. So some of the explanations that we need to go over in this workshop is really a rundown of how to teach drama. Know that each activity leads to an unexpected performance goal. Each classroom will have games. These games will have expectations, and then you will be able to assess a lot from those students so that you can build on each lesson upon the last lesson. If you have any ideas of how to set up rules or expectations or systems, that's exactly what we want to go over right now. We want to let you know that there are rules to the drama games, that they create presentations at the end of each lesson, and that we do these. Why do we do these? We do these so that the drama games are an important part of this drama curriculum, because they can teach valuable theater skills while allowing students to have fun, to build confidence, to strengthen their imagination, to grow as an ensemble. And so that's really the most important reason for why this drama circle is so valuable just in general. An opportunity for these teachers really also to assess the progress of the students. I mean, in a lesson, you don't understand as much as you do in an assessment. So to be able to know that each one of these are assessments of each game, then you see these students using them properly, you'll know exactly what it is that we go ahead and get into. So let's talk a little bit about some of these drama circle games. One of the games is called Bumpity Bump Bump. You have students in a circle. And what you'll do is you will stand in the center of the circle, and when you're in the center of the circle, you point to one of the students. You will say, bumpity bump bump. The student will say their English name. Now this is round 1, and your bumpity bump bumps can go slow, they can go fast. If they go slow, the student can finish saying their name before you say bumpity bump bump. If that's the case, move on to the next. If they are slower than you, they run. And you can see the other different levels that we had in that as well. Another type of drama circle game that we like to play is called Story Circle. Story Circle is really interesting. You can do this standing up, preferably sitting down, but you will go around to one side, one word or one sentence, and create a story. This is very simple for a lot of higher level English learners. Some of the lower levels, you would want to start with one word and really just assess whether or not they can remember the sentences. and continually act upon that so that it's the congruent story by the end when it returns back to you as the teacher. Another way to do this is with whisper secrets. No one really knows what's being said, but they do need to focus. And then, of course, you can create more based on some of those levels. Now, some of the things that we haven't really discussed yet, beyond just little fun ideas for games, are the rules. The rule is a game in itself. The rules are so clearly designed that if the students break the rule, they run around the circle. Eventually, it's if you say no, you go. So here's one of the rules: shoulder to shoulder in the circle. Very important that you as a teacher focus that they are staying shoulder to shoulder. Make sure that they're looking inside the circle and not outside, and not focusing on the lesson. And then, of course, make sure that you give them a countdown to run. If they are slow, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teacher expectations. Let's break down part 2, mastering the circle. In order to master the circle, you need to understand that students need to actively listen to each other in order to keep activities going. They must wait their turn, give their attention to one student. They need to cooperate with their classmates and to build up on the previous actions, and they needed to follow the directions. So some of these games that we're going to go over in part 2, bracket A, is some of the activities that you can pause and watch these videos, and you can go through them, and you can decide on what you would like to do.
Okay, let's go ahead and dive into some of these videos and get a little bit more of a deeper look on what it is that the circle can do in your classroom. Let's dive right in.
Before I started doing circles in my class, I found it very difficult to start the academic day. Students had things that they wanted to share that had happened with them, things they were concerned about, and I had a very long line of about 25 to 30 students every morning wanting to share personal time with me. It made it absolutely impossible to start the academic day. After the presentation of circles in our staff development, I knew that would be the best way to have each student share and be heard in the classroom.
Wonderful. This is exactly the purpose of having circles. You're able to find out what the students' abilities are, what their moods are, their emotional distresses, some of the things that they're scared of. I mean, we can talk about how we go about doing that within drama games specifically, or like they're talking about.
For classroom management, for resolving conflicts, and also to involve students in activities. Every day, I begin with mindfulness to really get the students focused and centered and ready for learning.
Now, I do suggest that some of these types of mindfulness activities, especially within your English classroom, could definitely be beneficial. Similar to as you would do this maybe farther down the line in the drama course, where you will do it for rehearsals or preparation for those presentations.
I'm going to need you to either close your eyes or to look gently at the ground. The next thing I do in circle is a check-in with a scale from 1 to 5. This allows me to assess whether or not they're ready to learn. Okay, I'm a 5, and I have a lot of things I need to get done today, but I'm looking forward to getting them done.
I love this as a wonderful opportunity with any type of circle presentation that you would have, any type of games, where you can also act out some of the requirements that the students would be expected to present so they can get some sort of example. You know, don't expect them to do something if they haven't seen it or heard it being done. This is why most drama teachers even go to the extreme opportunity to show them what they can do so that we can gauge their level of interest as well. But I love this number concept of 5 being ready to go and then 1 being a little bit slow.
Would anyone else like to share why you're a 5 today?
Today I'm a 5 because I can't wait for Spirit Week. I'm a 1 because my head still hurts from Sunday.
In order to keep order in the circle, we use a talking piece, which is a symbolic piece to signify who has the floor, who's able to speak. At the beginning of the year, I asked the students what topics they feel as a class we need to discuss.
And so what they would do is write down different topics of certain activities, things that they would want to be able to talk about, and it gives a chance to the students to open up. You can definitely do this for later on presentations if you had some sort of drama performance or script storyline that you'd like to go across. We could find out if students would like to go ahead and join in with their creative ideas in such as well. I'm going to skip a little bit farther ahead to kind of give a little bit of a different concept of another type of circle.
Called restorative justice. Circles are also used to resolve conflicts that come up during the school day.
Sometimes at recess, Sydney and Hermione would come over and just start talking about us and saying mean things about Janae.
Is it your job to make Janae's job at school hard?
No.
So you choose to either be the bully that you're being, or to be someone's ally, and make a better choice.
You could just see in these types of exercises how much it's grown within other forms of education and learning. So this is not just a drama type of concept. The circle really does work. It's been shown and proven to be able to advance communication skills and even help a lot of the presentation skills, especially effectively in movement, in drama, but of course in speech therapy as well. All right, another video that we'd like to go ahead and show you is more focused of circle in the drama classroom. And just listen to this instructor, how he talks about the circle, how he commands the circle, and we're going to go ahead and pause and play with some of these activities just the same. So let's go ahead and dive right in.
Beginning and ending the class in the same way sets a predictability and emotional safety for the children. What it does is it creates an unspoken contract between everyone involved that we're stepping into a new space, that we're going to allow ourselves to celebrate effort, to be willing to fail, to try new things and to see things in a different way. It's common practice in theater to start with everyone standing in a circle. It's the most inclusive of all the geometric shapes. As you watch the following clip, you'll see that we start and end the class in the same way using the circle. And afterward, I will explain to you why different components matter.
All right, before we get involved into this, I'd like to go ahead and explain a little bit about the rules. The drama circle rules are very important. Typically, as we discussed very quickly, it's a shoulder-to-shoulder type of preparation. You then want to make sure that each person is looking into the circle. And then for me, if anybody breaks the rules, they run around the circle as such. So making sure that the shoulder-to-shoulder is there, making sure that they understand what it's like to stand into a circle, really gives more of a construct of not just the rules, but of how we're going to continue playing these games. Because if you can't keep the rules, you can't continue to follow the games. So watch this instructor and how he's able to understand where the students are at so that he can then communicate where he wants them to be. Look at this little boy in the front here. He's kicking the instructor, or at least play kicking the instructor. He's obviously not ready to start this circle, so the instructor must be able to come in with some sort of clear direction, which he does, but I thought that was great to pause and let you know a little bit about that.
How am I supposed to know that you're ready?
Because I'm not moving at all.
Not just standing, but standing with your feet underneath your hips, with your arms by your sides, and your weight centered. So I'm not standing like this. I'm not standing like this. We're standing upright, tall, and open, showing that we're ready. Find a new spot in the circle. Go! 4 people find new spots. Go. That was 5. spike. Okay, that's all right. It's not math class. We'll adjust. Adjust the circle so that we have the same amount
Shoulder
of
to
space
shoulder, shoulder to shoulder.
on either side of everybody.
Elbows,
Seven
elbows.
people, go. And adjust. You always adjust, right? So once you go, you adjust the circle.
Pause. So I like a few things, and I'd like to go ahead and go over them very quickly for you, and some things that maybe I would have some concerns about. So what I do like is that he teaches them specifically how to stand for the circle, and then plays a game accordingly to that, and then levels up the game very quickly. Similar how we talked about the circles in the games, to make sure that there's levels of anticipation, because quick learners want more challenges. So he said 4, then 5, then 7. I assume that this is not a first drama lesson that they've had with these students before, and this is something that they're already accustomed to, so that they're able to adjust, as the teacher said, shoulder to shoulder, inside the circle, not dazing off quickly. However, sometimes if you're going to try this type of activity just for a quick warm-up, it could get quite silly quite fast if they really don't understand the rules, or they haven't been I guess, properly adhered to the rules, especially if they're breaking them often enough.
So the first thing that I did was ask them if they were aware of how they came to the circle. Were they aware of their physical stance or any fidgeting that was happening? Part of the emotional intelligence that they are learning is self-awareness. That foundation allows them to have a stronger connection between what's happening with their bodies and what's happening in their minds. What's really wonderful about that is that they come to understand that it's their own mindset that controls what they're physically doing. And so that way it becomes an empowerment. It's not just a teacher saying, hey, please stand still, stop moving. Absolutely. It's someone on the outside bringing their awareness to themselves so that they can say, oh, I'm moving. I didn't mean to be doing that. Followed by, I don't need to be doing that. And so we use this mindset, this self-empowerment, to include breathing and a connection between mind and body, and so that the presence is established within the circle. What's really wonderful about approaching their physicality this way is that self-empowerment then allows them to not only self-regulate, but then actively work together to regulate the group as a whole. I'd love to know how all that worked out for you in your classroom, so please leave some...
Yes, I would also love to know as well. So those are some of the concepts that you would have for the circle and how to create the elements of the rules of the circle as well. So once you go ahead and understand the concept of the circle, understand how to train and educate the students on the circle with rules, now it's time to play some games. So one of the games that we had discussed was Bumpity Bump Bump, and I found a fun video that kind of explains a little bit more about Bumpity Bump Bump. So some of the concepts of Bumpity Bump Bump are about leveling. The concept of leveling becomes so much more intriguing and more exciting for the students when they know that there's a more challenging piece to be able to move up towards. The Bumpity Bump Bump starts off with your name, starts off with then round level 2, Bumpity Bump Bump right and left, and then round 3 is the become. The become and the drama lessons are really important. We're going to be talking a lot more about becoming something each lesson so that they can get more of an understanding of character. But first, of course, you've got to play some fun games. So within the construct of Bumpity Bump Bump, I like to do Elephant Bumpity Bump Bump, Airplane Bumpity Bump Bump, and Rockstar Bumpity Bump Bump. So I'll give you a little bit of a taste of this, and you can check out how they play this game, and you can use whatever type of Bumpity Bump Bump you want.
The game Elephant is great for increasing listening skills and just increasing your energy of your group. Play with 5 or up to 30 students. You'll want a large area to play this game. Stay tuned to see how to play this game. Okay, we're gonna play a game called Elephant. This is a high energy and focus game, and it's so fun to do before you do a performance, or even just before class to get your energy going with your class. So, I'll be moving around, and when I point to you and I say elephant...
Pause. I do not like to move around with this game. I like a circle, and then the teacher is fixed in the middle of the circle and then moves around, almost as if you have eyes everywhere, and so the students are a little bit more focused on not knowing when they're going to be called. But for the sake of viewing purposes and, of course, for your understanding, I thought this was a great example.
The person I point to becomes the trunk of the elephant, and they make an elephant noise. They go, "Arr!" Can you do that for me? And the two people flanking her will become her ears. Elephant ears.
Bump, right and left.
Great. Okay, that's the elephant. When I point to you and say, palm tree, you're gonna go up like this, and you will be the palm fronds on the sides, on her sides, and together, all three of you are gonna go whoosh, 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 whoosh. So we've got elephant, palm tree, whoosh, whoosh. Good. And another one is jello. If I point to you and say jello, you're gonna be the jello in the middle. You're gonna become, his sides, you'll become the bowl. And in the middle, you'll go jiggy, 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 jiggy. Give it a shot, Daniel. Ready? Jello.
I love that kid's interaction. He was so not excited to have to jiggy with it. But you see his face, he was covering up. But you know, these are just fun games, and that's exactly what this does. This breaks down some barriers and boundaries and makes you feel a lot more comfortable. Look at the girl to his right. She is laughing and having a wonderful time.
A game of focus.
Again, in the rules of a lot of these games, if they're slow, they go. If they don't move, they go. If they can't remember what was called, if they're not correct, they go. And so for my bumpity-bump-bump type of games and activities, it's just a continual movement sometimes and quick move fast, move fast. So we'll watch the rest of this video because it's only a minute or so long, and you'll kind of get an idea of like the in and out.
So if I call you and you don't do it fast enough for me, you're out. Okay? Or if you do the wrong instruction. We got it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Palm tree! Whoosh, 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 jello! Out, you're out! Ready? Elephant! Good. Jello! To mix it.
She got called out because she did a little jiggy-jiggy with the palm fronds. But either way, it's just a quick game that you end up playing for one of the lessons, potentially more than that if it needs to be, that you can just get them to move and groove and do a whole bunch of other stuff.
Try these variations. Ding, I'm done! Jiggy, 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 jiggy. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. To find out more ways to...
And like I said, you can definitely check out their page if you're interested, but more importantly, like I was saying, this elephant game and this warm-up and the bumpity-bump-up can also be played with Airplane. I use Rockstar. I use Stage. Where their actors and some students are clapping for the performance, and so you connect it to your particular vocabulary in your lesson. It's a really engaging way for the students to have to think quickly and respond quickly. So I hope that was good as well.
But you really want to hone in some of those skills to be able to teach your audience or your students a little bit more about presentation skills in a fun, exciting, dramatic way.